afternoon, class, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. You're now tuned into Reishi Radio, the soulless podcast of all time. And if you're wondering why I'm sounding a little low on the volume, like some kind of lo-fi ASMR, cheers, what's up with that? I'm doing it for our guest. Today we are joined by the teacher, your friendly neighborhood teacher of this wonderful game that we're following after, Bleach Your Birth of Souls. Please welcome Ryo Kibutsuji. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having. Thank you for having.
It's vibes. This is the second try because OBS decided to be funny. And now we're going to get active with the topics because three major things that we're going to talk about: Jump Festa, Shinji, and all this new gameplay that we're blessed upon. So why don't we start with,
Blessed.
yeah, hella blessed. What you think, Lee? We got gameplay on gameplay.
Oh my goodness. I mean, honestly, it's everything that I wanted to see in confirmation for everything that we had questions on previously too. So it's the gameplay that we saw. Obviously, it wasn't, Evo level gameplay, but it was enough to see how the mechanics work in real time and see the progress that they've made since the last gameplay that they've given us. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like everything looks better and smoother. And I don't know. I just maybe it's just like the hype getting to me, but I just think literally everything we see, every time we see it, it looks better.
Yeah, I feel faster.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness.
Um,
It's crazy how
I
we how
definitely
far we come. It really
that
is.
is true. But
Oh,
yeah, I
and
truly
I
agree with
realized.
that.
I realized I didn't even introduce ourselves in the intro. That's what. Ah, damn. OBS is messing up my flow state too. It's me, Jig. I'm your host, Jig, joined by my co-host Lee the Warlord and Rio in the house because I thought we'd bring him in to really air out the fact that we finally got hands-on with the game, and now the game seems like this new build is definitively better with
Absolutely.
the new character
Mhm.
coming around the corner and how
Yeah,
it feels like we got like so many more to follow, and it's just so weird, bro. It feels like they're listening to feedback that we had, and we don't- they're like ghosts to us. They're actual spirits, like the Lord
Right.
Judges.
yeah, they truly care about. I feel like they truly care about their baby, which is the game. Because
Yeah.
if they listen to the fan base and the community, bro, it helps the game even better. And I feel like that's what developers need to start taking on, right? If you really just listen to feedback and just work on the feedback and just update the game and all that, then you know they gonna keep coming. I feel like they're doing a good job so far.
Yeah, me and Lee said
Mhm.
that in a previous episode. As long as
Absolutely.
the
Yeah.
Yeah.
source is there. Uh, so far we haven't had them actually directly talk to us. It's like promotional as usual, but it might actually happen through launch where we finally get to see their faces or some kind of community manager gets to talk to us on the internet and see what's working and what's not. Or maybe even join the
Mm.
Discord server and directly tell Tamsoft and Bamco and them what needs fixing, what doesn't, and what's so great about the game. Because it's hopeful that we may be set for life. There's a lot that's good, a lot that's not, but so far, we're done poaching gameplay, we're done reposting, we're done ignoring the pitiful rage bait, we're done reacting to all that noise. It's time. The time for overview is now. We got like a roster for the demo too. The seven, y'all think like the seven are like the best entry points, like excluding Ichigo and Rukia were obvious, to showing what the rest of the game, the rest of the roster gonna look like.
Mm. Well, I'll say with me, how the roster gonna look like. I definitely feel like it's gonna be a decent amount on release. That's actually very satisfying in my opinion, because at this it's kind of almost like it's overwhelming in a way, and I feel like that's a good feeling, right? Because you got so much characters on launch,
I
right?
feel that. Yeah.
That that you know you have time to play with, man, and that is what I enjoy, man. Like true. Not pretty sure people, who are Bleach fans or who just look like they'll enjoy the game, I think they will like that also, man. So the variety is truly there.
Yeah, and I think they did a good job of just the general spread of characters available, covering like almost all bases of what you're going to encounter while you're playing, because you have a little bit of meter characters, you've got like health regen characters, you've got a reawakening character, you've got, characters with specific actions in their reverse, you got like, it's just like, so you got the stance character, it's so many different types in just the 7 characters that they showed us in that demo, that it makes me hopeful for the other, like, more intense characters that we haven't seen yet, like your
Mm-hmm.
Eisens and your
Yeah.
Grimjows and your
hmm
characters like that.
It's good
Yeah,
because
them
they match up
archetypes
with
they
archetypes
showed,
too.
bro. Mm.
They fit
Yeah,
archetypes
the
we
archetype.
know perfectly.
Yeah, like, li- like we said, right? And to incorporate, man, it's just like out of all the characters, even in the demo, right? Like, it's crazy how we seen like little chunks of gameplay throughout the demo, right? Because they sometimes cut it off the end of the match, right? Or they sometimes play like
Right.
the the ending segment of the matches.
A lot of
You
jump
just
cuts.
see, yeah, facts. You will see like a tons of opportunities in your head coming up saying, okay, if I was playing this character, wow, like look what I could do. Like
Right.
it's just right there, man. Like it makes you think because you're sitting there like, man, like if he can do that, then it looks like it's so much more opportunity for me when I get my hands onto it to excel on that, right?
Hmm.
So man, like the archetype so far is looking so beautiful. So beautiful.
We're locked.
How y'all feel about that?
I feel like before we dive into that and how solid the archetypes look and how it feels like there's a little something from everyone whenever you pick a different
Hmm.
character. Like literally everyone, where it's not one size fits most. Like, let's talk about Jump Festa's demo build from what we had, the gameplay that we
Yeah.
saw, the first characters, the one that they dropped where it felt like they weren't going to show cam footage. Like, what happened? I woke up like what 6 a.m., early 5 a.m., and the first thing I see pop up on my feed is like, yo, check it, 20 minutes of gameplay. Wasn't even raw. They edited it together, showing all their fancy stuff from the
Hmm.
tutorial to a few of these characters mixing and matching. What were the matches like? Yoruichi versus Toshiro, Gin versus Ichigo, Ukiyo versus Ichigo, Rukia versus Byakuya, and finally got to see Rukia win. And another great thing is, what is it? There are people who actually thought that this was the time to add duplicate characters to this game. Not in this game. That's like an MC exclusive.
Right.
Everyone who expected multiple versions of the single character can now calm down because clearly that's not happening. Not even for your antagonist. Remember when we thought that it would be a split Aizen?
Yeah, I was definitely at first, before we got that Eisen like reveal in that trailer, I genuinely thought we were gonna get 2 Eisens, one that would focus on his like Shikai and just his Soul Reaper form, and then the other one where he's in that All Spark fusion. And they
Yeah.
were just like, nah, F it. You get the concepts of a plan with Suigetsu. So honestly,
It's
that was interesting.
it was great.
Yeah,
Celesti
Yeah.
Aizen coming
yeah.
into everything.
That's the thing. Yeah, that's the thing too. And I low key kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie, cause like I was like, even when I was hearing them theories back in, like when we was like all eyes and he may get another form or stuff like that. Like I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, though, but that's just will take him another slot. You know what I mean? And
Right.
for them to do it like this, or for them to do it like this, I feel like they did a very good job of doing it,
Yeah, I agree.
especially with his awakenings, and not even his like so his two awakenings, but he has an automatic awakening, which is his chrysalis state,
It's
which I
more
feel like
like
that's
an
also pretty
install, yeah.
cool. Yeah, right there.
Four forms in one. Ew,
hmm
and
hmm
it feels like you're set. Yeah, we already went into this. If you want to go over what we said, everything about Aizen, just go, was it 2 episodes ago for Reishi Radio?
Yeah.
That's more views for us, dog. Before we go deeper, Uh, I just want to talk about Jump Festa as a whole. Let's talk about Jump Festa, the event, because
Yeah.
we got a lot more
Hmm.
games coming. I mean, we got a lot in terms of anime. Everybody got their what? Dandadan season two, Sakamoto Days finally getting adapted. Witch Watch, Solo Leveling season two,
Yeah.
Chainsaw Man movie, all that. Demon Slayer 2 got gameplay. Come on now.
Hmm. They
And
definitely do. And
yeah, and Bleach. Was it season 4 out of 4, A Thousand Year Blood War?
that core four.
I gotta ask, like,
Mhm.
when do y'all think, now that I've gone over that, when do y'all think, what year do y'all think we get Bleach Rebirth of Souls 2 should this game be successful?
2028.
Hmm, that's
I
actually
ain't gonna
super
lie.
realistic.
That's I low key feel like the same because I mean if you want to be honest, right, bro? Like low key, this game does become well. I know it's gonna become successful, but when it becomes successful, this is what I'm gonna say, right? They got to keep feeding onto it, so it's gonna take them a little longer, if anything, to add second install the second install of the game. So I definitely
Yeah,
agree with Lee. It definitely
yeah.
could be 2028, or it could be even longer. I'm not gonna lie, bro. I know we're gonna be older, so shit.
Hmm.
I think it'll
You
be
know,
a 2 or 3 year turnaround for real, for real. Like just depending on their DLC structure, because I don't know if they're just gonna do like DLC characters or if they'll do DLC story packs as well. Because I think to get all the characters that we want and then all the story elements we want leading up to Thousand Year Blood War, it would realistically take them about 2 or 3 years to give us all of that. And then if they've been working on the sequel in the background that whole time, it's a lot easier to build a game when you already have that base. So then that's like an extra year or two for what? One more adaptation within that next game. So I think at the latest, we'd probably see it within like 4 or 5 years of release, but I'm thinking we would see a Rebirth of Souls 2 within 2 or 3 years of the first one coming out.
Hmm. And that's to not forget the multiple season passes that they're planning to drop. We don't even know how
Right,
many they actually want to do. I mean, some of them, if a game is not as successful as we see, it ends in something like Season Pass 2. But if it goes beyond that, well, most of the games, most of the anime games we've had as well, they don't even go beyond like 3. But then the successful ones, as we've seen, reach like 5 or 6 because they don't have to make another game. The money just stay flowing, so they just give back content. And if we think about
right,
what we
hmm
could get, we still haven't gotten the full ring arc adapted. So Ginjo is locked as a DLC character. We just don't know when.
right,
It is safe ish to say 2028, but regarding how much support we could give them if the game actually comes out good, because if it somehow disappoints us, then they could still come out like early just to try and like lie that they're gonna fix some things and take our money in the sequel. But if it end up good, then they could push it even further, trying to add more to what we have already. 2030 latest might be a possibility
right. Yeah,
because yearly
I could
yeah.
definitely
seasons
see
and
that.
whatnot.
Yeah. To incorporate off of that about the full brands, they definitely I feel like would be part of the DLC pack if anything. And if they only do add probably two of them or one of them like Genjo or Sugishima, um, I feel like Genjo would be that one out the group to truly just come onto the roster, Bleach Rebirth of Souls roster.
If they do a Shinji thing, he might be the only one out of the full bringers who makes it in. That's another
Yeah,
conversation.
that's what I'm. Yeah, that's kind of what I
Um,
think too.
we're locked when it comes to that. We don't got to think about that so soon. I just wanted to bring it up just to find out where
Yeah,
our heads are at regarding the sequel because we think about now and how long this game can stretch. I do have my gripes that I gotta cover from what I saw because I can't erase them. I gotta ask because from what I see, I know, Lee, you're happy that we got a complex combo structure, which I assured you that we would have. There's no way that we
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yep.
Mashing one button will not be a thing. That's good.
Right.
The thing is, freedom in that combo structure and freedom in creating your own combos is a staple when it comes to any fighting game imaginable. Whether combos are too
Right.
short or too long, there's no way the same person will create the same combo with the buttons they are provided unless they post the combo, which is quote unquote optimal, off of the internet. The thing
Right.
with the game like this is combos seem a little too samey to me. And I'm not saying that it's particularly too bad, right? Or like too weird. Like I'm saying they're a bit too short. I'm sure the
Mm.
people who are gonna bring
Mm,
up like the Street Fighter model, like, oh, you do a link into a button, yeah, but you got a lot of buttons to link to, right? This one, it feels like you mash either square or triangle and then hit a spinny red attack, the key combo move, and you're done. Y'all think there's not enough variety?
yeah.
Because I'm wondering what the freedom is here, you know?
So I can see why you would say that for sure, especially with the gameplay that we have been given, because I think that a lot of the gameplay we've seen is, whether that's just auto combos that they're doing or they fell in love with one combo during the practice run that they had before the demo, and then they just kept trying to use that. I think a lot of that freedom is going to come in how you use your movement abilities and your reverse gauge in the middle of your combos, because there's no real combo extension after that launcher unless you follow it up with a movement ability, because they just go forever away. Like they're like halfway across the map. Like they're not. So I think that once we see a little bit more high level continuous play where we find
Yeah.
out the language of the combo structure and how it chains with the movement a little bit better, we'll be able to confirm or deny that, because I do see exactly what you're talking about, and based off of the gameplay we have been given, I can agree with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also like to incorporate too, man. Like looking at the gameplay of Jump Festa, right? The reverse gauge, biggest part of the gameplay. If anything, that's the main mechanic every player should watch out for and
Yeah.
really study, cause that is going to be the deciding. That's going to be the deciding factor when it comes to gameplay, combo extenuations. You know what I'm saying? Like the breaker and overall everything else. So that is the priority thing that y'all need to watch out for, and just to study.
Frame one, frame
Um,
one, I'm popping my reverse gauge and building my spiritual pressure all the way up. Frame one, I don't care.
Same.
I'm just popping it immediately and just having 2 bars of EX meter, 3 bars of EX meter, I should say, to play with, like three
Yeah.
seconds into the match. I don't care.
It's like doing a gold burst
yeah,
in every game, in every anime game. Doing a neutral burst will actually award you meter for being that brave, but it also sacrifices your combo breaker later in the game, which will come back anyway with how
and,
fast reverse builds.
I was about to say the reverse
yeah,
gauge comes back, so I'm like, you gotta use that thing when you see it. Like
You
that's
see it now.
yeah. Like use
hmm
that, spend that
and
cash.
and even if you do spend a cash, man, I feel like especially when it gets into the high level play, man, that's when players going to learn the most effective combos to try to do as much as damage in that certain time when it does come back. You know what I mean? Because since I
Hmm.
feel like since the reverse gauge comes back so fast, because it's only one gauge, mind you, and like certain moves take 1 to 2, like two of them off rip. So let's say you whiff and you get into a combo, right? Then you can't do nothing about it until it's back. You can't just break out of it halfway, like the meter's halfway filled. You can't do that. You have to wait until it gets back to 100. So you have to take that.
Y'all should check my shorts channel, y'all. I just dropped the most complicated bleach combo that we've seen so far. You too, listener. You too, not
Ooh.
just these two over here. You too, because that's the most
Yeah, I
complicated
got
combo we got. What was it? Kruby Inside, which was what 3 months ago. Bless Kazami Sensei. I don't even know her name, but that's what they kept saying. So that's what I'm assuming that her name is. Shawty did the most complicated combo we got so far by popping a what was it? A chain reverse off of it, which leads me to our next point that I'm worried about, which is why I'm thinking combos may be a bit too short. I'm noticing that doing a flash step off of a hit confirm, The flash step follow up. There are very few examples of evidence to show us that we can press our own buttons after hitting a flash step, like doing it in Dragon
Mm,
Ball. You hit a vanish, you land, and you can extend your combo manually, hitting a 2M or not. It feels like it
right.
forces you to do that extension reset to neutral. And it's like, why would they do that? Why would they? It's not like the combo will go on forever. You hit one flash tip, and then from there, you can finish the combo however you want. Forcing somebody to do the knockback animation, that follow up thing, I feel like stints everybody's freedom.
That's a yeah.
Maybe. Go ahead.
You can go. You can go on. I'll just wait when you get finished.
Okay. I was gonna say maybe it's a similar situation to fighters where when you vanish without your sparking activated, you do a kick no matter what. But if you vanish with your sparking activated and hold the buttons, you'll
Right.
vanish and just like pop up behind. Maybe it's a situation like that.
I'm hoping
So
so
you need
that
to
they
have
keep
some
that in the
type of reverse
situation.
meter. Yeah, like, cause that would be oh Lord, yeah, I didn't even think that thought genuinely did not cross my mind. So you're absolutely right. If we have no freedom after we do a flash step, I mean, I'm not gonna say what's the point of the flash step because it's obviously to get to your, to get to your spot behind your opponent, but or next to your opponent, but I need my freedom afterwards. Like, let me at
Yeah.
least be able to do something.
It's like
Mm.
they kind of don't understand combo
Yeah,
structures.
Right.
yeah. Going going into that as well as the knockback, which I think what was it called? I know it's a launcher, but I forgot the actual name for that.
Kiko
But
move?
um, is that what it is? Like, I guess the activation of a Keycon move. You know, the knockback, like you
Yeah.
knock them back.
Yeah. The red
Yeah,
That
smash.
could like if
it's
we
the launcher, and then the key call move, is after you press the launcher and the hold, like, the hold
Yeah. The
R2.
glowing.
yeah yeah R2 yeah. So with that, right, looking at you know how they were using it in the demo and shit like that, right? At first I was thinking it could be just a combo ender and shit like that, but you could actually incorporate that into a combo and following up with a flash step itself. So like it came to me. I was like, okay, it's two ways to extend combos because if y'all don't know, which well, I'm pretty sure majority of y'all do know, but you know, the using the reverse gauge again, the yellow one, you can
Mhm,
also extend combos as well. So
mm.
if you, I feel like if you use both of them together, that would be the most optimal way to extend your combos
Yeah. That's what I'm
because
saying.
using that little keycon move shit, yeah, using that keycon move won't take any reverse gauge at all. And if anything, I feel like like the keycon move activation should be like a combo ender instead of just a like inside that main combo. You know what I mean? So uh, that's how I'm looking at it.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't even think I'm gonna use a Kiko move early game. If I just took off
Yeah,
stocks,
fact, fact.
Raw
I'm
level 3,
deleting
what?
raw level 3. Who's gonna block it? Unless I know the person I'm playing is a scrub, I'ma spam
For
that
all
shit.
level 3.
Spanish
That's
equity
funny.
lelelele. From there, I was really thinking of
Yo,
how to combo properly when it came to this game because of the
fact,
few times
fact.
that people did the fancy flash steps. But now it's making me think I was tripping because then they keep showing us the little extensions. Do they hold a button? Is it where you mash every button? Could we, like Lee said, hold the flash step button and you could actually extend however you want? Like I want an empty flash step animation. Like whenever you do a flash step in neutral, you teleport, you can move, you can press buttons, whatever. I want that after you hit that slash, when you hit them from a flash step, then I can press whatever button, I can go into SP move. Because think about it, combos have structures, right?
Mhm,
You got a start,
Yeah,
a middle, and an end, right? Some of them,
mhm,
if you landing a hit in like a weird situation, will probably just be a start and an end, and then you have frame advantage, which I'm pretty sure this game will have. You start with
yeah,
a
definitely.
string, then you hit a flash step. But then what this game is telling you is if you do a string into flash step, combo over. Damn. I wanted start a string, you do a signature move, whatever, all that, you hit a flash step, do another string, hit a special move, and you're done. That could be an optimal combo. Start
mm.
string, flash step into string, SP move, ender. It's like we can't even do that no more. Where's the
Mm.
freedom? They better have that.
Well, w- what? Yeah, I agree. But what I will also say is this: if they're leaning towards that statement, then it will be most likely a one hit linking to like a special move or something like that, which can you know cause a quicker amount of damage in a certain time, right? So like one hit going into an SP move, then ending it off with like a Kikai move or something like that, depending on the character you use though, because some characters special moves will send them flying or will have a certain attribute to keep them like in their range of hit. You know what I mean? So if they're not going to allow us to follow up with a flash attack, then it most likely might be just a one hit link into a move and something like that. Which I'm not gonna say that's not bad. It's just it needs to be. I feel like more ways that you could do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's just hope for the variety in the future. Cause come on, man, I'm not trying to have everybody's combos online or on land look the same,
Right.
which
Oh
is
yeah,
good.
and
They turned
yeah,
off
I
simple
don't.
controls too.
And okay, yeah, that's another topic to talk about right there. Because I'm not gonna lie, boy. Like simple, they got what standard, simple, and advanced, right? If I'm not mistaken,
No,
them three. Um,
it's just the two modes.
Classic and
It's
modern
the
controls.
essentially, yeah. Because there was like an
okay.
operational mode and then a professional mode or something like that, and then
That's
one
another thing you got to
mode
know
they were
about pro
saying,
mode though. Remember when you said that it would be nice if you turn away that like little menu that pops up when you hit L2,
mm-hmm,
the toggle. You can. That's when you turn off simple controls. I noticed.
mm,
It's canon.
Um,
okay, so then
simple.
so that's gonna be like a big all or nothing thing. Then when you go from like the simple controls to the pro controls, I was wondering too, because that's one thing I do like about fighters is how they have that freedom within the game itself. If you just want to be mindless, a Bardock player, guilty as charged, just mash square, get to where you need to be, then you could just do that, get his auto combo out, or you could just do whatever you need to within the freedom of the combo structure itself. So it seems like this game, it's more like, okay, when you choose professional, you need to know that you have no access to auto combos.
Mm.
And I'm wondering if ranked will be locked behind professional controls or if it'll be you can use whatever.
It should be professional controls because I did hear and on Dude's video as well that standard helps with auto, it just does auto combo compared to the advanced thing. Advanced
Mm.
ones they say you give me more freedom of range.
Yep.
So I would think on ranked it would be advanced controls only. It should be locked, but that's me. I don't. We can't say nothing yet because that mode is not even disclosed yet. So we have to wait until the actual game comes out to see that.
If they're allowing
Yeah, but like
classic
Jake said
dynamic,
though, I do think they doubt that.
yeah, if they're allowing classic, modern, and dynamic controls in online play of Street Fighter 6, then I'm pretty sure that they're gonna have both operational and what was it, basic controls for this game too. And they can't lock it. They can't skill lock people if we can basically beat them regardless using our own skill. Like classic versus modern doesn't make a difference. That's the forever debate, right? And clearly y'all have your takes on staying split on if you want to play with the big kids, with the big dogs, you gotta have your professional controls on lock. But the people on the basic controls can play against us too. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people are gonna have fun trolling and trying to make it to top 100 with those controls. But buddy, just like
Hmm.
every other game, it's all up to the buttons you mash. It's a skill issue. It's you, not the control type. So I don't think they're gonna
Yeah.
lock it out.
Um, yeah. Uh, with this game, I am curious to see when it does come like the button layout. Because I think there's options to switch around the buttons, right? Will be the most effective way to switch up the buttons. I think their default button layout is not that bad, but I will say, it is pros and cons to switching the original button layout. So I wonder how in this game switching the button layouts will be a benefit or a liability. So
Nah, it's whatever makes you feel comfortable, you know. If people want to mash R1 and R2 for light and heavy because they play things like God of War, let them. The layout type and the auto
yeah,
combos is all up to whatever people feel like it. I'm pretty sure it'll stay consistent no matter what. I'm just saying that if it's gonna be a fighting game, then just like literally any other competitive game, there's got to be a split between those who are just
Yeah.
getting into it and just want to have fun, or those who want to take it seriously and well, win. It'll happen. There are a lot of other factors that could play into skill. Like at one point, I thought there were dodge windows and light attack strings. I thought everybody had like a way to dodge out of their homing dash, but now I learned it was a Yoriichi exclusive. I
Hmm.
learned what else happened.
There's
If you have
Omni Guard, so if you just hold the guard, there's no you don't have to worry about getting mixed up.
yeah,
yeah. There's
so
no highs and lows, but
there's no
I mean it
cross
is
ups
strike
either.
though in the game. Well, yeah, there ain't no cross up. But again, what's actually crazy too, right? Rock, paper, scissors. They actually have it's kind of crazy because the actual term, compared to what they have on there, right? Of rock, paper, scissors, bro. It's like three different options you could use, right? And in this game, it's literally I don't know if y'all seen it. It's labeled as rock, paper, scissors.
Makes
Yeah,
sense.
I ain't gonna lie. I found that pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, and it made me just even more happy, saying, "Okay, cool. It's still other ways to open up your opponent, not just by mashing their guard and hoping like the guard break, right?" Now, even though you can't do high lows, cross ups, you can do movement abilities to open up. Like you can do this crazy neutral, and you can do a grab. But you know what's crazy? It's really not. It's not even a grab. It's more like you open up your opponent by using that move, right? Because a grab will normally have like a cutscene. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
that. It don't even have a like that actually breaks the guard. Like okay, like it's two different breaks, right? You actually break it, then you can just forcefully break it without it shattering. I don't know
Yeah.
if y'all seen it, right?
Yeah, the
I
grab
think
is that's
we
why
was
they call the grab the breaker because you're not
yeah,
breaking their guard meter, you're like breaking them
Breaking their
open
guard.
for more attack.
yes, yes,
Exactly,
yes,
right.
Yeah, it's
Like
pretty
yeah.
obvious.
yes. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So when they label it like that, bro, and plus you can hit it in a certain type of way, right? With Geens, I think we was talking about it like last time league, right? How Geen leaked his and with his attack, right? That's not
Hmm.
like you can use that in like a blockchain, probably like a mix up or something like that, right? I feel like that's gonna be really effective, especially with this game. I feel like parries and I definitely like the counters and that breaker move right there is gonna be really effective into opening your opponent since there's no other traditional ways.
Allegedly, a full guard break where you deplete the guard meter completely doesn't cause a stun. It just causes that animation you see after the flash step that we see in every trailer. It's okay because
Hmm.
it means that people who have their guard broken have to be terrified knowing that they cannot block moves period for a certain period of time. So I guess if you break a guard early and they're like at 75, 80%, and somehow, I don't know how you do that. Maybe you're in evolution because I noticed like heavy attacks in evolution do major guard damage. Then you can land a
Hmm.
red attack easy and the match will probably go faster because we still don't have a timer. Y'all, they got to speed up on that. There's just
A
guarding.
timer.
There's no OSs either. And that's another story.
I can select. Okay. Well, with that, right? And especially with the time, like you said, the timer and shit like that, and it kind of shows how fast the gameplay actually goes, right? But going back to that, right? It's tons of what we see so far. I feel like it's tons of ways to really layer onto gameplay, like really add on layers to give you different situational standpoints on when you find a certain character, right? Now again, we don't know how deep of a situational uh options we have because again, we don't have the game, mind you, and that falls into the player's hands. You know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
only way. That that's the only way we'll be able to truly grasp our options and being like, okay, what situation goes good for that character? You know, because
I'm
it's an
just saying.
actual person with a brain.
I'm just saying, if it's not
Yeah, you
300
go
or
on.
360 seconds, then we're gonna have a problem. I don't want these 10-minute matches around here. We got more games to play.
I think it's gonna be pretty decent time. Like it, bro. Like if I'm like the gameplay been going by really fast. Like the thing you have non-stocks and to see how fast they actually go away, like is
That
very
was
interesting.
that was with
You gotta
cutting
the
too.
gameplay we get is also edited
They
too.
cut it a
You gotta
lot. They cut
yeah.
it to make it seem like it's 4 to 6 minutes, which is saying tons about how quick they want their matches to go. Which I'm hoping is the reason why they hit the timer, and not to just for the good reason of letting people play more, but for the fact that maybe with the way the game progresses, they might result in a lot of timeouts, which I'm hoping will not be the case because I already have
Mm,
circumventions for that. Either
Oh
you reduce the lives to
yeah.
7, or you can make I don't know, the damage a bit higher because the lights they don't do as much. And yeesh, if people aren't dying in like 2 or 3 solid combos, then games may last a little too long.
right.
mm, uh, uh, yeah. To incorporate on that as well. Um, about I think you said something about it last. Oh yeah, run away. Yeah. Okay. So in this game, I don't think you can really run away though, because you know we're locked. Like we're locked into facing each other, right?
That's true.
Now, as for the zoner, as for the zoners, I don't know if they may have an advantage for real because by the way the dude was explaining on his video, right? It makes sense because it's a lot of ways to cut distance. You know what I mean? There's a lot of ways to cut distance. So it made me think, okay, could the zoners be actually a weak archetype in this game? You know what I mean? Compared to like other games, it just had me thinking.
Maybe. It depends
Yeah,
on
Yeah,
how
maybe
because
it's
like
based
thick
around.
those zoning projectiles are. It just really depends on how good that tracking is too. Like if
And
they
how
have a
good
lot
the
of
player
options
is.
and they're
yeah,
absolutely, of course, yeah, no, player skill. At the end of the day, what matters most is player skill. Like no matter what, if your character is super duper busted and you're going up against somebody that's just better than you, you're still gonna it's the skill is gonna be what makes the difference there.
The bot showed off too in
yeah,
the Morita-san's demo gameplay, whereas he was dash canceling his shots, he was faking, pump faking here, there, in the next place, dodging, making sure he kept a reasonable distance away from his opponent. And if he had to get up
Hmm.
close just to knock him further away, that's a character that will use Keycom moves properly. Because every other character is focusing on getting in, so you might not want to use that. But those guys, they're focusing on getting you out so that they can spam. I guess like
Right,
the people who want to mash around, it's cool because if people, a lot of players in every fighting game, they don't know how to get in whenever they're getting spammed on. Dash blocking is a bit complicated. Jumping over projectiles may prove a problem, or homing dashing in people's faces. Being patient isn't really a factor, but against people who actually want to be patient, the zoner archetype may get stomped. Unless the zoner knows how to zone properly, which is mixing up the timing of your shots. I don't think it'll
right.
be that weak, but it'll just be experts only if taken seriously.
yeah, facts. And since this game is heavy neutral based, it's definitely going to be all type of ways to mind fuck your opponent for real. You know what I mean? So that would definitely be a nice addition, and to see
Options
how
and
players
options.
will. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be optional. Like I said, since the diversity it allows the creator, like it's up to the player's creativity. You know, it's up to the player's creativity to really understand their character and to understand their game plan. Because at the end of the day, bro, we all want to win in the game, but in order to win, you need to understand the mechanics and you need to understand your character.
Right.
So
Staple of any
after that's
game.
done, man, yeah,
Only one can
and
win.
Yeah, only one can win, and I like his one on one, right? If you think now, okay, so if you think about it, right, with all the prior games that it was trying to get compared to, um, all them other games had teams. You know what I mean? They had teams. This is truly one on one. Now, if y'all understand what I'm saying, then y'all understand what I'm saying.
It's
But
real simple.
you
Long
know, it's
games, long
refreshing.
long load times. It's like playing like 3v3 with one on one. It's just good. The
Right.
Yes,
options that we
yes,
have too. What
yes.
else? We got the option of
That's
flash. What special flash attack? Also, before I forget, I gotta put this in. We finally know what that is. It's a tilt skill. It's a tilt heavy. Thank God. So at least we know that that could be useful in closing gaps. With a game with running the ones, it's
hmm
important to know to use every button as well as you can. And there's a command normal. I know that might be Gin's dumb tracking move where he jumps at the op because I feel like it doesn't fill any other slot. That's Kisuke's Byakurai. That's Ichigo's shoulder. He has a new move in the Shinji trailer, but we'll get into that just now. A beautiful, not really beautiful, but a thing that might actually work in this game as well, outside of having the variety of defensive options to deal with it, which we have the four defensive options of the Apocalypse, which is flash stepping being like a perfect parry, reverse being a burst, awakening being a get out of jail free card, and guarding, just guarding. Which another thing that kind of irks me is that there's no perfect blocking, so you can negate damage and not take away the guard meter. Story for another time.
Right.
The good thing is we might actually have a, y'all want me to call a hybrid arena fighter? Fine, a hybrid arena fighter which actually has Oki for once.
mm, yeah.
Mm.
Y'all get me? What I mean by that is whenever you knock down an opponent, you can follow up because they'll be close by. Because we don't really knock them down, they
Right.
tank out. So you just get in and don't knock them too far.
Yeah. I agree with that actually. I truly do actually.
Yeah,
And I
that's a good
actually
point.
said, yeah, I said something like that. I think in one of my videos, right? So since it's not really a definitive knockdown, right? Uh, it has kind of like a stun animation, right? And if you time it right, because they said timing is key in a lot of these moves. If you time it right, you can go ahead and stay on top of your opponent, right? And then to try to meaty them into something. And low
Mm.
key, right? Low key, I'm actually intrigued to see how each character will, use that, right? Certain characters,
Yeah.
right, in other games, right, certain characters will have better Okis than other characters, right? It's not like a universal type of, oh, I get this, then it's gonna be guaranteed. It depends. It's definitely character reliant. In Yodelichi's case, I'm for sure she has a pretty good Oki slash like a little meaty setup, most likely with her Kikan move. And again, we got to time this shit out right.
She doesn't even need to use the Kika move
So
for that. I've seen her after certain strings because the one that forces knockdowns is just the strings without the Kika move, where she was able to follow up with her spot dodge that you do when you hold the button and not do Ankin, and she could dash in and
Hmm.
it'll meaty. You can't do nothing about it.
mm, yeah, yeah. Like I said, Yoruichi, yeah, um, she's definitely gonna be one of the type of characters, man. Uh, Going back on to what you said prior to, right? How you said like a hybrid game. Like I said, this game is truly one of one, and I will say it is a hybrid. Uh, but it's still like it's so different from the other games. It's not even like it's kind of crazy how much this shit is different.
Yeah. Uh, there are a lot of other things that we don't exactly need. I feel like there's not much that we need out of this game. We're pretty much solid with what they've created. They decided to make it
Right.
all the other games that have the weird win conditions instead of basic rounds, which at first we were confused. Lives, how do you deplete them? You just do supers. And now that we understand, we're more excited than ever. Like Fighter's Destiny type shit, we fucking locked in all the way. We don't need no selectable supers, reversals, controlling flying, jumping. Save that for another game. We solid over here. We don't need them. We's not getting them. We gonna strive without them. We'll be just fine.
Just
Definitely.
fine.
And
Definitely.
especially one thing that the other games uh, don't have that we do, that traditional fighters have, that will hold like a candle or like a torch that you'll never take from us is frame data finna be crucial. I can feel
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yeah. Well, yes. Hell yeah. Yes.
We finna have a locked in game. To round this off, why don't we? Because I just realized we haven't talked about the boy all podcast. Why don't we touch up on the boy Shinji? Boy So Special got
NG.
two trailers, a teaser,
Yeah.
and his character reveal. Because today we finally found out that he is. I'm not entirely sure if I can say. You think he's
Go ahead.
a
Go
summon
ahead.
character, don't you?
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Well.
not. He's definitely not a puppet character. That's what I was thinking he was going to be, but I would say he's a summon character would describe him better. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes. I will say this too, right? To incorporate. It depends. Like, see, with me, right? I literally have to see how long that certain move is going to last over
Yeah.
Hayori, right? Because that really depends on if okay, then he's gonna be a defensive summon character, right? Because mind
Mm-hmm.
you, since he got a lot of moves right now, right? He got a Rekka, and he literally had his awakening, right? I think it's like a buff, right? Mid game he gets stronger, and that made me think I'm like, what the world? Mid game, right? So right now, I still got to analyze even deeper, but as of right now, I am leaning towards a summer character. But it still depends on how long Kiori though stays out, right?
Mm.
If she has a limited time
Yeah.
she stays out, then okay, he may be something else. But if he just can summon her freely, then
Seems like she's on her own timer. I
that's gonna be
already
it,
know she's gonna be another meter character. Everybody got their own fancy
bro.
meters so far. There are too many of those guys. Uh, but
Exactly, because the way they worded it,
she lock he. What can I say? How can I put this? Y'all think he a summon character? Okay, because I don't.
yeah. For right now,
He seems
for right
more like
now, I'm gonna
a.
say that.
He seems more like a. I don't know how can I put this. A bait and punish type of character. With the other tools that he has, like Hiyori is
Funny.
more like a novelty that he summons with like
Mm,
one special move. It's like summoning, well, not exactly like summoning Pesha Dondochaka or Nemu for another move because she can apparently stay out longer.
right.
So yeah, you can kind of, as we've put before, tag team
Mm.
and make it the jumpmaster Shinji on the spot. The thing is, his other tools make him way more dangerous in a way that looks more like, well, Tozen. And in light with everybody having like similar playstyles, Degel Soifon and Yoriichi to Yamamoto and Aizen. Tozen is more like a hit and run, but what you would call it? Shinji is bait and punish in the sense that with his signature, right, is both a counter and a slash. Whereas you have to, because he's a 50-50 type of character. They said it like making a guess
Right.
between attacking and breaking. So forcing your opponent to guess at every moment in time is the essence of a bait and punish character. He likes finessing people.
You know, yeah. Now that I think about it, it reminds me of a character from Melty Blood. Her name is Kohaku. Yes, bro. Um, when I used to play Melty Blood, right? It reminded me of what Cindy's doing, right? She summons in her sister, right? And her sister does moves while she's moving on the map. And
Right.
now that I'm thinking about it, Genji, I think he was able to move also while Hiyori was doing that little move she was doing to add on more pressure.
Mm,
Right.
So, like I said, bro, I'm not gonna lie. It like Senji, it truly depends on how Hiyori's gonna act. Because by the way, he worded it, I don't know if she's gonna have her own type of set choice to stay in the game, or if she's just gonna do that move and then leave. So I mean, we still just got to see how that's gonna go. But like, that's a comparison I would make, though. You know, because you can still do layered moves on top of that while summoning, Hiyori.
Android 18 is also a summon type of character, but does that make her a summon character? No, because
Mm,
her key game plan is focused on rushdown and summoning 17 when it's useful to her. And yes, I did mention 17 was also in the game, and no, that does not mean that I think Hiyori will also make it in. She'd have she doesn't have much to go off of a move set. But that leads me to the next thing. I mean, the last thing was he basically holifies for his awakening. Some people thought he would be the upside down world where Mario capes you and your controls are switched. But we don't need that. We'll just save that for a soul destruction. You'll just turn the screen upside down. The
right.
visors now. The visors. These damn wizards. I I only think that at this point, with how limited they're acting with the roster, which is good because they want the key crucial characters who've had a number of fights to go off of. The only other one who's gotten to flex more than once in the entire team was Kensei. Of all people, it was Kensei. If y'all don't know who that is, that's basically the one with the knife and like the boxing
Yeah, he got
hands.
he got like that military fighting style with
His
the combat
bankai,
knife in a
his
way.
bankai is
Hmm.
basically Tekken. That's all I remember for. He says Tekken in the name, so it's the Tekken bankai. I ain't gonna explain it because well, it's a silly bankai, and you're gonna love it if it actually becomes a a playable character because he has a lot of moves that he did throughout the show, more than any other one of the visors, and a few of them actually had key fights in certain points. But that guy, I don't know why they gave him so much time to flex, and he has such limited lines.
Yeah.
Shinji's big bro, not Shinji. What's his name?
Uh,
Shuhei.
sure. Yeah. He used to be a captain. Um, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm glad you mentioned that too, cause some visors did have a lot of shine. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
you remember
I
that? Cause
I do
hey,
feel like you said what?
I said cause like hey, the number of times that they had to flex was kind of minuscule, and people honestly think that Lisa, of all people, who hasn't run ones once, has a good enough shot. There's levels to this, guys. There are definitely plenty of other
It,
characters that you can play, but I'm pretty sure maybe they'll show up in like a soul destruction at least. Lee, you've been awfully quiet. What you think about these visors making it? I know you got your
I
opinion on it.
Yeah, no. Now, so what I want versus what I think we'll get are two different things. I think that this is going for base roster. I think that this is probably going to be it for the Visors. Um, I want us to get everybody. I want us to at least get everybody that fought in a significant way. So
In a perfect
probably no
world.
more than like you said what?
In a perfect world. Just
In a
adding that.
perfect exactly in a perfect world, but genuinely, I think that this might be it. Maybe we do get one more, but I don't know, man. Um, I'm holding out my copium for other things. I would prefer that we get all the espadas. If they have to like
yeah.
make a sacrifice somewhere, I would rather them do the visors, sacrifice the visors. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah, it makes
yeah,
sense.
that's
Yeah,
Well
because
done,
especially
actually.
with
they're sacrificing both.
Well said.
right,
Yes, well said, bro. No joke. I'd rather them sacrifice the visors. Let's get let's get the wrong cards. Let's get all the wrong cards. We fine with having Shinji. If anything, Shinji was the top one. You know, to be in the game. If anything, right? Oh, and a preferable visor to begin with. So since he's in the game, that's all we need for right now. That's all we need. Now, like Lee said, in the
right.
perfect world, maybe I would prefer if I was to choose, I would prefer Lisa because she's my second favorite advisor. But that's in a perfect world, right? So
Watch out
let
for the
that be.
Espada. They finna add the backup Espada. They're finna put Dordori, the Spanish one of the mustache,
Yo,
and they'll take any other slot. They'll put him over a half of the main Espada because I know there are a few Espada who won't even have a tangible boost set. I'm not even gonna name names, and the visors, well, one or two at best will be just fine with the flexit that they had. Either way,
Right.
though,
mm,
I think we're safe with all the content that we've gotten over the last week, and the content that we are soon to receive on Thursday when Ichigo's voice actor, Morita san, will jump back in to hopefully not get his ass whooped to the computer and save the Rebirth of Soul Society for us. Get a dub for us, yo.
Yes.
And that is then. But for now, this has been Reishi Radio. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Go sub to these two, Lee and Riel. I'm gonna have their uh, accounts in the description, y'all. I'm serious. Go sub. We got some good Bleach content for y'all over here. And while you're at it, sub to me too. This has been the soulless podcast of all time for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. Y'all too, thank you for joining me on the show.
Appreciate it,
No
man.
problem.
Yeah, that's always fun to be here. Thank you for having me.
It's always fun to have you.
Yeah, and I would. Yep, and it's like Lee said, it was an honor being here, and I would like to be on future ones if that is possible.
In the future, we shall see what it holds for us. The rest of y'all, thank y'all for tuning in as usual. I can never say it enough, and I hope you continue to support us because March 21st cannot come sooner because that's when peak arrives. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in, everyone.